Hey everyone, and welcome back to Tarot Talk. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on one of the most common and often intimidating first steps on a spiritual journey, choosing your very first tarot deck. It's a moment that can feel overwhelming, a bit like trying to find one specific book in an infinite magical library without a catalog. You might feel a little lost standing in front of a shelf filled with 100 different decks, each one calling to you in a different way, a silent question hanging in the air: how do I know which one is for me? This isn't just a decision about an object. It's about finding a spiritual tool that will become an extension of your own intuition, a friend and guide on your path. Before we begin our reading, if you're finding this guidance helpful, please hit that like and subscribe button. It helps us grow our community of seekers and allows this wisdom to reach more people who need it. Leave a comment below with a card you're struggling to understand, and maybe we can dive into its meaning in a future episode. Alright, find a quiet space, maybe light a candle, and let's begin our journey with the cards. Choosing a tarot deck isn't just about picking the one with the prettiest pictures. It's a process of listening. It's an invitation to tap into your intuition, that quiet inner voice that you're learning to trust more and more. When you first approach a collection of decks, you'll notice a kind of energy, a subtle vibration coming from certain boxes. It's a gut feeling, a pull, a curiosity that's stronger for one deck than for others. You might not be able to explain it logically. You might not know why the vivid colors of a modern deck are calling you more than the classic muted tones of a traditional one. That's okay. The first step is to simply allow yourself to be drawn in without judgment or overanalysis. This initial connection is a key part of the process, because the relationship you build with your deck will be based on this unspoken communication. To get started, I want you to try a simple, practical exercise. The next time you're in a spiritual shop or browsing an online store, don't try to find the perfect deck. Instead, just let your eyes wander. Notice which decks you keep coming back to, which ones hold your attention a little longer. Once you've identified one or two, don't immediately read the description or the reviews. Just sit with the image. Close your eyes and hold that image in your mind. What feeling does it evoke? Does it feel exciting, calming, mysterious, or maybe a little bit intimidating? The goal here isn't to find the right answer, but to simply observe your own internal reaction. The main spiritual insight here is this: the deck is a mirror. It doesn't just show you what's happening in your life. It reflects your own inner landscape back to you. The deck that you read drawn to is often a reflection of the energy you need to work with right now. If you're drawn to a deck with very gentle flowing art, it might be that your soul is seeking more peace and emotional flow. If you find yourself captivated by a deck with bold, stark, or even unsettling images, it could be your subconscious calling you to do some deep, transformative shadow work. Don't be afraid of that. The right deck won't just affirm your strengths. It will also challenge you in the most loving, supportive way. So, as you take this first step, remember to breathe. Don't rush. This isn't a race to the finish line, but the beginning of a beautiful journey. The choice you make is a reflection of your own path, and the first lesson of tarot is to trust yourself. How can you quiet your mind and listen to your intuition right now, without the need to find an immediate answer? Building on that initial feeling, you'll find that the visual appeal of a deck is what first captures your attention, but it's just the beginning. The colors, the style, the overall aesthetic, these things are important because they are the first language. Your intuition speaks when it connects with a deck. You might see a deck with bright, vibrant colors and feel an immediate sense of joy and optimism. Or you might be drawn to a deck with more muted, earth-toned illustrations, and that could feel grounding and calming to you. This is your subconscious communicating, telling you what kind of energy it's receptive to, and what visual language will help it feel most at ease. But a beautiful deck that doesn't resonate with you on a deeper level is like a stunning but unplayable instrument. It might look great on the shelf, but it won't sing for you. To go beyond the surface, you need to ask yourself a deeper question. What is the energy of this deck communicating to me beyond its looks? Look at the eyes of the characters in the cards. Do they feel wise, mischievous, compassionate, or stern? Do the figures feel static and posed, or dynamic and full of movement? A deck might be visually stunning, but if the expressions on the faces of the figures feel hollow or disconnected, you might find it hard to form a deep relationship with it. For example, in a classic Waite Smith deck, you can feel the desperation in the figure on the Five of Pentacles, and the quiet contemplation of the Hermit. This is the difference between art for art's sake, and art that serves a purpose, to convey a rich narrative tapestry. The main spiritual insight here is that a deck's true beauty is in its ability to tell a story that resonates with your soul. It's about finding a deck where the images feel alive, where they hold a potential for dialogue and reflection. A deck that speaks to you isn't just a collection of pictures. It's a doorway into a deeper conversation with yourself. UVA found a good candidate when you look at a card and a whole story starts to unfold in your mind, even if you don't know the traditional meaning of the card yet. So, Here's a practical application for you. The next time you're browsing, pick up a deck you're drawn to. Don't look at all the cards, but just flip through a few key ones, maybe the Empress, the Emperor, or the High Priestess. Instead of focusing on the art style, look at the emotional content. Does the Emperor feel strong and supportive, or rigid and unyielding? Does the Empress feel nurturing and abundant, or maybe a little too overwhelming? Let your emotional reaction be your guide. This isn't about right or wrong. It's about finding a deck whose emotional language you can understand. Remember, the goal is not to find the deck that every tarot reader recommends, but to find the one that feels like it's been waiting for you. It's about seeking a deeper, energetic connection that goes far beyond simple aesthetics. How can you train yourself to look beyond the surface and listen to the energy underneath? Once you've moved beyond the visual pull, you'll find that the next level of connection is a very physical one. It's all about the feel of the deck in your hands. You might not think this matters much, but the physical quality of the cards can make or break your reading experience. The cardstock, is it thick and sturdy, or thin and flexible? Does it feel slick and plastic-like, or have a more matte, natural texture? When you hold a new deck, shuffle it. How does that action feel? Do the cards glide smoothly into place, or do they feel sticky and hard to handle? A deck that feels clunky to shuffle can create a sense of friction and resistance in your practice, while one that shuffles with ease can feel like a natural extension of your own energy flow. The size of the cards is also a key factor. If you have small hands, a standard tarot deck might feel unwieldy. Perhaps a smaller, pocket-sized deck would be more comfortable, allowing you to handle the cards with confidence and grace. Conversely, someone with larger hands might prefer a more oversized deck, where the images feel expansive and easy to see. The main spiritual insight here is that your physical relationship with your deck is a metaphor for your spiritual one. Just as a tool should feel right in the hand of a master craftsman, your deck should feel comfortable and intuitive to you. The physical act of shuffling, cutting, and laying out the cards is a ritual that prepares you for receiving guidance. If you're constantly fighting with the cards if they're slipping, or if your hand's cramped, that physical frustration will bleed into your spiritual practice, making it feel more like a chore than a connection. A deck that feels good to handle allows you to fully immerse yourself in the moment, freeing your mind to focus on the messages, not the mechanics. Here's a practical application for you. The next time you're at a spiritual shop, ask if you can hold the deck you're considering. Don't be shy about this. It's a crucial part of the process. If they have an open display deck, pick it up. Fan the cards out, feel the weight of the deck. Give it a gentle shuffle. Close your eyes for a moment and just feel the cards in your hands. Does this feeling inspire a sense of calm and readiness, or does it feel awkward or frustrating? It's okay if a deck that looks beautiful doesn't feel right. That's a valuable piece of information. Similarly, a deck that you might have overlooked visually might surprise you with how good it feels to work with. Ultimately, your deck will be a tool you touch and interact with on a very regular basis. This physical connection is the foundation of your practice. It is the tangible link between your physical self and your spiritual self. So as you continue this journey of finding your perfect deck, remember to listen not only with your eyes and intuition, but with your hands as well. What physical qualities in a deck feel most aligned with your energy and your body? After you've felt the physical connection, the next step in this deeply personal process is to delve into the heart of the deck, the major arcana. These are the 22 cards that tell the Fool's Journey, a symbolic path of spiritual growth and self-discovery. These cards represent the big themes in life: love, loss, success, and transformation. As you get to know a potential deck, take a closer look at its interpretation of these foundational archetypes. Does the depiction of the magician feel like a powerful creative force, or does it feel more like a trickster? Does the Empress feel warm, nurturing, and connected to nature, or does she seem aloof and distant? You'll find that different decks present these universal energies in unique ways, and the deck you choose should speak your soul's language. The main spiritual insight here is that your relationship with the major arcana is a profound way to understand your own life's journey. These cards aren't just symbols, they are reflections of the different stages and challenges you'll encounter. A deck that presents the major arcana in a way that resonates with your own inner narrative can become an incredibly powerful tool for self-reflection. If a deck's depiction of death feels too scary, for example, it might not be the right deck to help you navigate periods of profound change. But if that same card feels like a beautiful, necessary transformation, then it could be a perfect companion for your growth. The deck should feel like a wise, compassionate friend who understands your path and is ready to walk it with you. Here's a practical application for you. Find a few key major arcana cards that you personally feel a strong connection to, or maybe even cards that you're intimidated by. The High Priestess, for example, is a card of intuition and mystery. How does this deck portray her? Is she hidden in shadows, or is she out in the open, beckoning you forward? And what about the Tower? Does it feel like pure chaos and destruction? Or is there an undercurrent of liberation and necessary release? Sit with these cards and notice your reaction. This is a crucial step in understanding the deck's personality and whether it's aligned with your own. Remember, the goal is not to find a deck that has a perfect representation of every card. Instead, it's about finding one where the most important archetypes feel authentic and meaningful to you. The decks that challenge us often have the most to teach. A deck with a more complex or difficult portrayal of an archetype might be what you need to help you confront and grow through your own shadow aspects. This isn't just about choosing a tool, it's about choosing a teacher. Which of the major arcana archetypes speaks to your soul most clearly? And how do you want your deck to represent that energy? Once you've connected with the big, powerful energies of the major arcana, your journey through a potential new deck should continue into the 4 suits of the minor arcana. These suits, wands, cups, swords, and pentacles, represent the everyday mundane aspects of life. They are the details, the smaller stories, and the practical challenges that make up our existence. Each suit is connected to an element: wands to fire and creation, cups to water and emotions, swords to air and intellect, and pentacles to earth and material reality. The deck you choose needs to interpret these elements in a way that feels authentic to your own lived experience. The main spiritual insight here is that your relationship with the suits reveals how you handle the daily energies of your life. For example, if you are drawn to a deck where the Cups cards feel especially soulful and expressive, it might be because you are a person who connects deeply with your emotions. Or, if the swords in a deck feel especially clear and sharp, it could be that you value logic and clear communication. A deck's portrayal of the suits should feel like it's speaking about your world. You want to see yourself and your struggles reflected in these cards. A deck where the pentacles feel rich and abundant, for instance, might be the perfect tool to help you work through financial abundance blocks. In contrast, a deck where the swords look painful and harsh could be the tool that helps you confront difficult truths in your life. Here's a practical application for you. Flip through a few of the cards in each suit. Look at the Ace of Wands. Does it feel like a spark of new creative energy? Look at the Three of Cups. Does it feel like a true celebration of community and connection? Look at the Ten of Swords. Does it feel like a painful but final ending? Or is there a hint of dawn on the horizon? And what about the Four of Pentacles? Is the figure in the card clutching their coins in fear? Or are they simply in a state of quiet, determined conservation? Notice the tone and the emotional weight that the artist has infused into these everyday scenarios. Remember, the goal is not to find a deck that sugarcoats life's challenges. It's to find one that portrays them in a way that feels honest and empowering. The minor arcana is where the real work of self-reflection happens, so the deck's interpretation must feel genuine to you. This part of the process is about asking, does this deck understand the real struggles and joys of my daily life? What kind of energy does this deck bring to the most practical parts of your existence? Now that you've explored the energy of the major and minor arcana, let's talk about the nuances of art style and symbolism. This goes beyond a simple like or dislike of the pictures and delves into how the deck communicates its deeper meanings. A deck's art style, whether it's highly realistic, abstract, or even whimsical, is a language in itself. For example, a deck with intricate, detailed art might be perfect for you if you love to get lost in the symbolism and find new hidden meanings every time you look at a card. On the other hand, if you're a person who prefers clear, direct messages, a deck with simpler, more iconic art might be a better fit. The key is to find a visual language that feels like it's speaking to your soul directly, without a need for a translator. The main spiritual insight here is that the deck's symbolism should feel like a key that unlocks your own subconscious. The symbolism in tarot is ancient and universal, but how each artist chooses to represent it can be a powerful guide. Look for recurring motifs. Does the artist use specific animals, plants, or colors to convey certain energies? A deck that consistently uses a serpent to represent transformation, for example, might be a fantastic tool if you're working through a period of deep change. Or maybe a deck that uses a specific shade of blue to represent intuition could help you connect with your inner wisdom more easily. The symbolism shouldn't feel like a puzzle you have to solve, but rather a gentle invitation to see the world in a new way. Here's a practical application for you. Choose a card that has a lot of rich symbolism, like the World or the Hierophant. Look at how the artist has depicted the classic elements of the card. In the Hierophant, are there two figures at his feet? Are they supplicants, or are they equals? In the World, does the figure feel like they are dancing with joy and freedom, or are they more serious and grounded? Pay attention to how the artist has treated these universal themes. If the symbolism feels fresh and interesting to you, it's a good sign that the deck has new lessons to teach you. But if it feels like a confusing jumble of images, it might not be the right deck for you at this time. The deck you choose isn't just a tool for getting answers, it's a teacher. And like any good teacher, it has its own style. It will use certain images and symbols over and over to get its point across. And you need to be on the same wavelength. As you continue your search, ask yourself, does the symbolism in this deck feel like it's speaking a language I can understand? Or is it a foreign tongue I'm not ready to learn? Now, let's zoom in even further, because sometimes the most profound connections are found in the little details. We've talked about the big picture, the art, the archetypes, but what about the subtle design elements that often go unnoticed? Things like the back of the cards and the borders can have a surprisingly big impact on your reading experience. You'll notice that some decks have reversible backs, meaning they look the same no matter which way you turn them. This is a subtle but powerful feature if you plan on using reversed cards in your practice, as it prevents you from subconsciously knowing whether a card is upright or reversed before you flip it over. A reversible back can reinforce the message that the universe has no preference for good or bad outcomes, and that every card has a lesson to teach, no matter its orientation. The main spiritual insight here is that every part of a sacred tool is infused with purpose. The smallest design choice can either open or close a door to a specific way of working with the cards. For example, some decks have thick, ornate borders, while others are borderless, with the art extending to the very edge of the card. A borderless deck can feel more immediate and immersive, as if you're stepping directly into the scene of the card. A deck with a beautiful, intricate border, on the other hand, might create a feeling of a sacred frame, a boundary that marks the space of the reading as separate from the mundane world. It's about finding a deck whose entire design, from the biggest picture to the smallest detail, feels intentional and aligned with your personal practice. Here's a practical application for you. The next time you're considering a deck, go beyond just looking at the major cards. Look at the back. Does the design feel like a pattern you'd be happy to see again and again? Now, look at a few of the cards and pay attention to the borders. Do they feel like they add to the image or detract from it? If the deck has words on the borders, do you like the font and the way it's laid out? These small decisions can make a big difference in how you interact with the cards over the long term. Remember that a deck is a complete system, and its energy is a blend of all its parts. The deck you choose will become a familiar friend, and the little details will be the nuances of its personality that you come to love. So, as you continue to look, ask yourself, what small, often overlooked detail in a deck feels most aligned with your personal sense of peace and beauty? Once you've done your personal intuitive work with a potential deck, it's time to gather more information from the outside world. This is where the wisdom of the community comes in, and a great way to tap into that is by reading reviews and testimonials. But this is a delicate process. You're not looking for someone to tell you what to think. You're looking for different perspectives that might help you see a deck in a new light. An honest review from a seasoned reader can tell you things you might not notice just from looking at pictures, things like how the cardstock holds up over time, or if the guidebook is actually helpful. It's like asking a friend who has been on a trip, you reconsidering they can share the highlights and the things to watch out for, but they can't decide if the trip is right for you. The main spiritual insight here is that your spiritual journey is your own, but you are not alone on it. Just as we learn from others in life, we can learn from the experiences of other tarot readers. Someone else's experience with a deck might illuminate a quality you hadn't considered. For example, a reviewer might mention that a deck is particularly good for shadow work because of its raw, honest energy. If you've been wanting to work on that part of your journey, this review could be a powerful sign. Conversely, if a review says a deck is too simple for a seasoned reader, and you're a beginner, that could be a confirmation that it's a perfect starting point for you. The key is to use these reviews as a tool for discernment, not as a replacement for your own intuition. Here's a practical application for you. When you're looking at a deck, find a few reviews on different sites, maybe a large retailer and a personal blog. Don't just look at the star rating. Instead, read what people are actually saying. Look for comments that resonate with your own feelings. If you felt a deck was warm and nurturing, see if others had a similar experience. If a deck felt a bit cold to you, see if others have mentioned that. Pay close attention to what people say about the guidebook and the cardstock. These are the details you can't get from a picture. Remember that reviews are just opinions. They are the subjective experiences of another person, and their path is not yours. Use them as an additional data point, a confirmation or a gentle warning, but always let your own inner wisdom have the final say. So, as you continue this process, ask yourself, what can I learn from the experiences of others without letting their opinions cloud my own intuitive judgment? Once you have done your personal intuitive work, and you have gathered outside information from reviews, there's one more element of the deck that is absolutely crucial to consider: the power of the guidebook. For a beginner, the guidebook is more than just a list of card meanings. It is your first teacher, a roadmap into the world of tarot. A good guidebook can make all the difference in your early learning process. You'll find that some decks come with a small, folded pamphlet that gives only the most basic keywords, while others have a comprehensive book that delves into the symbolism, the history, and even offers spreads and exercises. The quality of the guidebook can tell you a lot about the intention of the deck's creator. The main spiritual insight here is that a guidebook is a tangible form of a deck's energy. A deck with a sparse guidebook might be intentionally minimalist, encouraging you to rely solely on your intuition from the very beginning. A deck with a detailed, well-written book, however, shows that the creator wanted to give you a deep, thoughtful foundation to build your practice upon. It's not just about what the book says, it's about its tone. Does it feel empowering and encouraging, or does it feel rigid and dogmatic? A guidebook that says, "This card means X," is less helpful than one that says, "This card can be a reflection of X, Y, or Z." Depending on the context, you are looking for a guide, not a set of rules. Here's a practical application for you. If you have the chance, look at the guidebook for a deck you're considering. If you're shopping online, many retailers will show sample pages. If you're in a shop, ask if you can look at the book that comes with the deck. Read the introduction. Does the creator's voice resonate with you? Flip to a card you're already familiar with, perhaps the Empress or the Tower, and read its description. How does this description make you feel? Does it add to your understanding, or does it feel confusing? Pay special attention to how the guidebook talks about reversals. Does it present them as bad or as another facet of the card's energy? Remember, while your intuition is your most important tool, a great guidebook can be an invaluable companion on your journey. It can help you find your footing, understand new concepts, and feel more confident as you begin to trust your own readings. So as you continue to search, ask yourself, what kind of teacher do I need right now? Do I need one that gives me a lot of information, or one that encourages me to go with my own intuition from the start? After you've considered all the practical aspects, the look, the feel, the guidebook, and the reviews, will find that the final, most crucial step in choosing a deck is often the most intangible. It's that moment of an undeniable, intuitive pull. This is the feeling that transcends logic. It's the moment you see a deck and your heart just knows. You might not be able to articulate why the colors might be too dark for what you thought you wanted, or the style might be completely different from what you expected, but something inside you says, "This is the one." This is the moment when you stop overthinking and start trusting. The main spiritual insight here is that your intuition is a powerful, reliable compass. We spend so much of our lives being told to rely on facts, figures, and external validation. Choosing a tarot deck is a beautiful opportunity to practice listening to that quiet inner voice that guides you. This pull is not just a fleeting emotion, it's your higher self communicating, showing you the tool that is most aligned with your current spiritual path. It's a sign that this particular deck has a lesson, a message, or an energy that is meant for you right now. Here's a practical application for you. Imagine you're standing in front of two decks that you've narrowed down. One is the one you think you should get. It has great reviews, the art is nice, and the guidebook is comprehensive. The other is a deck you can't stop thinking about. It might be quirky or a bit strange, and you have no logical reason to choose it, but every time you see it, you feel a jolt of recognition. Now, take a deep breath, close your eyes, and just hold the idea of each deck in your mind. Which one feels like it's reaching out to you? Which one feels like a conversation has already begun? That feeling, that moment of knowing, is your intuition at its finest. Remember, the goal is not to find the deck that is the best by someone else's standards. It's to find the one that is the best for you. This choice is an act of self-trust, a declaration that you believe in your own inner wisdom. The right deck will feel like coming home. So as you make this final decision, ask yourself, when I stop thinking and start feeling, which deck is truly calling my name? Once you've made that intuitive leap and acquired your new deck, the journey isn't over, it's just beginning. Now, you'll want to get to know your new tool on a deeper level. A fantastic way to do this is with a deck interview spread. This is a practical, personal exercise designed to help you understand the deck's unique personality and how it will work with you. You'll ask the deck a series of specific questions and see how it responds. This isn't about getting a reading for yourself, but about having a conversation with the deck itself, treating it as a new friend or a wise mentor. The main spiritual insight here is that your deck is a partner in your spiritual work. Just like any relationship, it requires communication, trust, and understanding. By doing a deck interview spread, you're showing the deck that you respect it as more than just a tool. You're acknowledging its energy and inviting it to collaborate with you. This simple act of intention sets a powerful foundation for your entire practice. You'll find that the answers you receive will give you a profound glimpse into how the deck will communicate with you in future readings. Some decks are straightforward and blunt, while others are more poetic and nuanced. You'll learn the deck's language by listening to its first messages. Here's a practical application for you. You can lay out the cards in any way you like, but here are 5 simple questions you can use for your first interview. What is your most important characteristic? This card will show you the deck's core energy or purpose. What are your strengths as a deck? This card will reveal how the deck will most effectively help you. What are your limitations? This card will show you what kind of guidance the deck might not be as good at providing. What can I do to best work with you? This card will give you advice on how to build a strong relationship with the deck. What is the most important lesson you have to teach me? This card will give you a hint about the theme of your work with this deck. After you pull each card, don't just look up its meaning, sit with it. Let your intuition guide you first. What does the card say to you in the context of the question you asked? A simple card like the Two of Pentacles might mean that the deck's most important characteristic is to help you find balance in your life. Or, if it appears as an answer to how you can best work with it, it might mean you should approach it with a sense of playful lightness, not rigid seriousness. Trust your initial hit. Remember, this is a dialogue, not a monologue. The more you listen, the more your deck will speak to you. So, as you begin this process, ask yourself, how can I approach this new relationship with my deck with a sense of curiosity and openness, rather than with a need for immediate answers? Now that you have a sense of how to listen to a deck, both intuitively and through a focused interview, let's talk about the practicalities of finding your first deck. The journey of 1,000 cards begins with a single step, and that step can be a trip to a local metaphysical shop, a bookstore, or even a deep dive into the endless options online. Each of these avenues has its own unique energy and benefits, and understanding them will help you feel more confident in your search. The main spiritual insight here is that the place you acquire your deck can be as important as the deck itself. A deck purchased in person from a local shop often comes with the added energy of that sacred space. The people who work there are often knowledgeable and can help guide you. And you get the chance to physically touch and feel the deck before you buy it, which we now know is a crucial step. This is a very grounded, tangible way to begin your journey. It's a way of saying you are here in this physical space, ready to start. On the other hand, shopping online offers a completely different experience. The advantage is the sheer number of decks available. You can find decks from independent artists and small publishers that you would never see in a physical store. The downside, of course, is that you can't hold the deck in your hands. This is where those online reviews and testimonials we talked about come in. The process becomes a beautiful act of trust, relying on your intuition and the feedback of others to make a decision without the physical presence of the cards. Here's a practical application for you. Set the intention for your search. If you are a person who values tactile connection and community, make a plan to visit a local shop. Allow yourself to wander and see what calls to you. If you are a person who thrives on research and a wide variety of options, start your search online. Create a wish list or a board of decks that speak to you. Don't worry about the price or the availability just yet. The goal is to gather data and listen to your intuition, without the pressure to buy. Remember, there is no right or wrong way to get your deck. It is a part of your journey, and both a local shop and an online store can be sacred spaces for a spiritual quest. So, as you continue this process, ask yourself, what kind of energy do I want to bring to this act of finding my deck? Do I want it to be a community experience or a solitary quest? After all the research, all the searching, and all the intuitive listening, you might still feel a tiny bit of anxiety. What if you choose the wrong deck? This is a very common fear, especially for beginners. Let me reassure you, there is no wrong choice. Your first deck isn't a lifelong commitment. It's a starting point on a beautiful, evolving journey. It's like buying your first car. It gets you from point A to point B. You learn to drive in it, and maybe down the road you trade up for something else that better suits your needs. But that first car holds all the memories of your initial freedom and discovery. The main spiritual insight here is that the pressure of perfection is the enemy of progress. Your first deck is a tool for learning, not a final destination. It will teach you the language of tarot, help you build confidence, and introduce you to the process of connecting with your intuition. The goal is not to find the one and only deck you will ever need, but to simply find one that feels good to start with. You might find that after a year of working with your first deck, your interests shift. You might become more interested in a specific mythology, or you might find that you want a deck that focuses more on shadow work. This is all part of the natural evolution of a spiritual practice. Here's a practical application for you. If you're feeling stuck between two decks, or if you're worried about making the right choice, just take a deep breath and tell yourself this simple mantra: this is the deck for me right now. Give yourself permission to choose and to begin. The universe doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to start. Your connection with the cards will deepen over time, and your first deck will always hold a special place in your heart, no matter how many other decks you acquire down the line. Remember that tarot is a lifelong practice. The wisdom isn't in the object itself, but in the relationship you build with it. Trust yourself to make a good decision, and then trust that the decision you made is exactly the one you were meant to make. So, as you continue this process, ask yourself, How can I release the need for perfection and embrace the freedom of a beginner's mind? Once you've chosen your deck, you'll find that the process isn't just about a one-time decision, it's about entering into a relationship with the deck. This partnership is built on communication, trust, and mutual respect. Just as you get to know a new friend over time, you will get to know your deck's unique personality. It's a living, breathing part of your spiritual practice. The more you work with it, the more it will feel like an extension of your own intuition, a tool that speaks your language. It will start to feel different from other decks, imbued with your energy and your personal story. The main spiritual insight here is that a relationship with a deck is an ongoing conversation. You'll have good days and bad days. Some readings will be crystal clear and others will feel confusing and frustrating. The key is to approach every interaction with an open heart and a non-judgmental mind. You wouldn't get mad at a friend for having a bad day, so don't get frustrated with your deck if a reading isn't what you expected. Instead, ask it a different question. Rephrase your inquiry. It's an exercise in patience and a lesson in understanding that not every message is meant to be understood right away. Here's a practical application for you. Set aside a few minutes each day, even just 5 minutes, to sit with your deck. You don't have to do a full reading. You can simply hold the deck, shuffle it, or pull a single card for the day. This simple act of daily interaction strengthens your bond. It's a way of saying, I'm here, I'm listening. When you pull a single card, don't just look up its meaning. Ask yourself, what message does this card have for me today? Then, throughout the day, notice how that card's energy shows up in your life. Did you pull the Two of Pentacles and now you're finding yourself juggling multiple tasks with surprising ease? That's the deck talking to you in real time. Remember, the goal is not to force a connection, but to allow it to unfold naturally. Treat your deck with care and respect, and it will become a trusted partner on your journey. So, as you continue this process, ask yourself, what small daily ritual can I create to deepen my relationship with my new deck? As you continue to build your relationship with your new deck, you might find that you encounter some cards or even the deck as a whole that feel a bit difficult or challenging. I like to call these shadow decks or shadow cards. They might be decks with very stark, raw, or even dark imagery. They might be a deck that feels like it's constantly giving you a message you don't want to hear. Instead of avoiding these decks or cards, I want you to lean into them. These are often the decks that have the most to teach us. The main spiritual insight here is that growth often happens in our discomfort. The decks and cards that challenge us are like mirrors reflecting a part of ourselves that we might not be ready to see. A deck that consistently pulls a difficult card like the Ten of Swords or the Five of Cups isn't trying to scare you. It's trying to get you to look at a painful truth so that you can heal and move forward. A deck with a more difficult energy might be the perfect tool to help you navigate a period of deep shadow work, helping you confront your fears and emotional blockages in a safe, contained way. These are the decks that say, I see you, all of you, and I'm here to help you through the tough stuff. Here's a practical application for you. If a card or a deck feels challenging, don't put it away. Instead, sit with it. Place the card on your altar or your bedside table. Look at it throughout the day. Ask it questions. What are you trying to tell me that I'm not ready to hear? Or how can I move through this difficult energy? The goal isn't to force yourself to love the card, but to understand its purpose. For example, if you keep pulling the Devil card instead of seeing it as a sign of temptation and bondage, ask what it's trying to liberate you from. Maybe it's not a warning about an external force, but an invitation to release a limiting belief you have about yourself. Remember, the most powerful lessons in life are often the ones we resist the most. The same is true with tarot. The decks that challenge us are not bad. They are powerful teachers in disguise. So as you continue to work with your cards, ask yourself, what can I learn from the decks and cards that make me feel uncomfortable? Once you have chosen your deck and started your relationship with it, the next step is a very tangible act of love and respect, caring for your deck. A tarot deck is not just a collection of cardboard. It is a sacred tool, infused with your energy, your intentions, and your spiritual journey. Just as you would care for a cherished book or a beautiful piece of art, your deck deserves to be honored and protected. This act of caring is a ritual in itself, a way of deepening your bond and showing the universe that you are serious about your practice. The main spiritual insight here is that the way we treat our tools reflects the way we treat our practice and ourselves. Taking the time to cleanse, store, and handle your deck with intention is a form of self-care. It's a way of creating a clean, sacred container for your spiritual work. Cleansing your deck helps to clear any lingering energies from previous readings, from other people, or from your own anxieties and doubts. There are many ways to do this. You can use a gentle form of smudging with sage or Palo Santo, pass the deck through the smoke of a lit candle, or simply knock on the deck 3 times to shake off any stagnant energy. You can also lay the deck out in the moonlight to recharge its energy. The most important thing is the intention behind the action. Here's a practical application for you. Find a beautiful pouch or box to store your deck in. This can be as simple as a silk scarf or a small wooden box. Storing your deck this way protects it from dust and other physical damage. But more importantly, it creates a sacred space for it when it's not in use. After each reading, take a moment to straighten your cards, shuffle them once or twice, and then gently place them back in their home. This small act of reverence is a powerful way to end a reading and to show your deck that it is valued. Remember that this is a personal ritual, and there is no right or wrong way to care for your deck. The best method is the one that feels most meaningful to you. So as you continue to work with your cards, ask yourself, what small act of care can I perform for my deck today to show it my gratitude and respect? Once you have established a beautiful and sacred relationship with your first deck, a question will inevitably arise. Is it okay to have one deck or many? You might feel a gentle curiosity about other decks, even as you love the one you have. The shelves in the metaphysical shops or the endless scrolls online might be calling your name. Let me assure you, there is no single right answer here. The choice to be a one-deck person or a multi-deck collector is a deeply personal one, reflecting different paths and intentions. The main spiritual insight here is that your approach to your deck collection is a reflection of your spiritual focus. A person who chooses to work with a single deck for a long period of time is like a musician who masters a single instrument. They develop a profound, deep connection to its nuances. The deck becomes a true extension of their intuition, and they can read with it on an almost psychic level, understanding its symbols and language with great familiarity. There's a beautiful, focused energy in this approach, a sense of loyalty, and a deep dive into one particular spiritual path. On the other hand, someone who collects many decks is like a person who learns to play a variety of instruments. Each deck offers a different voice, a different perspective, and a different energy. You might have one deck for a specific type of reading, like a dark, introspective deck for shadow work, and a bright, joyful deck for daily inspiration. This approach allows you to explore a wide range of energies and art styles, keeping your practice fresh and dynamic. It's an act of curiosity and a celebration of the endless creativity of the spiritual world. Here's a practical application for you. If you feel drawn to another deck, don't feel guilty. The feeling of being called to a new deck is often a sign that there is a new lesson or energy waiting for you. The key is to be intentional with your choices. Instead of mindlessly collecting, ask yourself what this new deck will offer that your current one doesn't. Will it help you explore a new facet of your spiritual path? Will its energy provide a different kind of guidance? If you feel a genuine intuitive pull, honor it. If you're simply buying for the sake of buying, you might find that the deck doesn't resonate with you in the same way. Remember that a deck is a tool for your spiritual journey, and just like a craftsman has a variety of tools, you are free to find what works for you. So, as you continue this process, ask yourself, what kind of spiritual practice do I want to have, one of focused mastery or one of broad exploration? As you continue to build your relationship with your deck, you'll discover a profound truth that goes beyond the cards themselves. The deck you chose at this specific moment in your life is a mirror of your own spiritual path. It's not a coincidence that you were drawn to the art style, the symbolism, and the energy of this particular deck. It reflects a part of your own consciousness, a facet of your personality that is ready to be explored and understood. This deck is a tangible representation of your inner world, and every time you work with it, you are looking into a reflection of your own soul. The main spiritual insight here is that the deck's messages are your own inner wisdom speaking back to you. When you pull a card and feel a jolt of recognition, it's because that message was already within you, waiting for a way to surface. The deck simply provides the imagery and the language to bring that truth into your conscious awareness. For example, if you chose a deck that is very gentle and nurturing, it could be a sign that you are on a path of self-compassion and healing. If you chose a deck that is a bit more blunt or challenging, it might be a sign that you are ready to confront some difficult truths and move into a place of powerful self-honesty. Here's a practical application for you. Sit with your deck and lay out the 5 cards from your initial deck interview spread. Look at the cards you pulled for each question. Now, look at them as a reflection of yourself. What does the card you pulled for "What is your most important characteristic?" tell you about your own most important characteristic? What does the card for "What can I do to best work with you?" tell you about what you need to do to work with yourself? This exercise shifts the focus from the deck to your own inner world, showing you that the wisdom you are seeking is not outside of you but within you, waiting to be unlocked. Remember that tarot is not about predicting the future. It's about understanding the present and creating a more empowered future for yourself. The deck is simply a tool to help you do that. So, as you continue to work with your cards, ask yourself, what part of my own spiritual journey does this deck reflect back to me, and what is it trying to help me see? Now that you've chosen your deck and you're beginning to see it as a reflection of your own journey, Let's take a moment to honor the very first card of the major arcana, the Fool. This card is a powerful symbol of your current journey as a beginner. The Fool represents new beginnings, a leap of faith, and an open heart ready for adventure. You are the fool in this moment, standing on the edge of a cliff, trusting that the universe will catch you as you take the first step into the world of tarot. Embracing the energy of the Fool is a crucial step in building a healthy relationship with your deck. The main spiritual insight here is that to learn anything new, you must embrace the beginner's mind. The beginner's mind is a state of openness, eagerness, and lack of preconception. It's the opposite of the expert's mind, which is often bogged down with old habits and assumptions. As a beginner, you don't have to worry about memorizing every card's meaning or performing a perfect reading. Your only job is to be present, to be curious, and to be willing to learn. This is where the magic happens. Your intuition is most accessible when you are in a state of playful openness, not rigid expectation. Here's a practical application for you. Take your new deck and find the Fool card. Place it in a prominent location where you will see it every day. When you look at it, remind yourself that it's okay to not know everything. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to have a reading that doesn't make sense. The Fool doesn't look before they leap because they trust their path. You can do the same. When you approach your deck with a sense of childlike wonder and curiosity, you open yourself up to a world of insight that you would miss if you were trying to be an expert. Remember that every single tarot reader, no matter how experienced, started as the Fool. They all took that first step, trusting their gut and their deck. Your journey is no different. So, as you continue to work with your cards, ask yourself, how can I embody the playful and courageous energy of the Fool in my practice? After you've embraced the open-hearted energy of the Fool, your journey with your new deck will naturally lead you to a deeper connection with the archetype of the High Priestess. This is the card of intuition, of inner wisdom, of the sacred feminine that resides within us all. She sits between two pillars, representing the dualities of life, and she holds the keys to a wisdom that is not found in books but is accessed through silence and inner listening. The process of choosing a deck and now working with it is a profound exercise in connecting with your inner High Priestess. The main spiritual insight here is that your deck is a tool for accessing your own intuition. The High Priestess doesn't give you the answers. She encourages you to look within. Your deck works in a similar way. It doesn't tell you what will happen. It reflects the energy of your inner world and helps you listen to the subtle whispers of your soul. When you sit with your cards, you are entering the sacred space of the High Priestess, and every card you pull is an opportunity to practice trusting that inner voice you've been learning to hear. This is why the intuitive pull we talked about earlier was so important. It was the High Priestess within you guiding your hand. Here's a practical application for you. When you sit down for a reading, take a moment to invoke the energy of the High Priestess. Close your eyes and visualize a quiet, sacred space. Imagine a veil is lifting, revealing a hidden truth. Ask your cards a question, but instead of trying to find the right meaning, simply pull a card and look at it. Don't rush to the guidebook. Let the image speak to you. What feeling does it evoke? What is your immediate gut reaction to the symbols? That initial feeling is your High Priestess speaking. You can use the guidebook later to confirm or deepen your understanding, but the first step should always be to listen to your own inner voice. Remember that tarot is not about divination. It's about connecting with your own divine wisdom. Your deck is a beautiful, tangible way to do that. So, as you continue to work with your cards, ask yourself, how can I quiet my mind and listen to the wisdom that is already within me, just as the High Priestess does? After you have connected with the quiet, intuitive wisdom of the High Priestess, your journey will inevitably bring you to the active, creative energy of the Magician. While the High Priestess is about receiving knowledge, the Magician is about using that knowledge to manifest. He stands with one hand pointing to the heavens and one to the earth, reminding us that we are a channel for divine energy. He uses the tools on his table, the wands, cups, swords, and pentacles to create and to bring his ideas into reality. Your new tarot deck is one of those tools, and as you work with it, you are stepping into the role of the Magician in your own life. The main spiritual insight here is that tarot is not just a passive tool. It is an active instrument of manifestation. It doesn't just show you what is. It helps you create what will be. Every time you pull a card, you are doing more than just receiving information. You are engaging your will, your creative energy, and your focus to bring a deeper understanding into your life. The deck helps you see what is possible, and the Magician's energy helps you make it happen. For example, if you pull a card like the Ace of Wands, it's not just a sign of a new beginning. It's an invitation for you to use your will and take action to ignite that new creative spark in your life. Here's a practical application for you. After you've done a reading and you've understood the message from your High Priestess, now it's time to step into the role of the Magician. Choose one of the cards from your reading that feels particularly powerful. Place it somewhere you can see it. Now, think about what you can do today, this week, or this month to embody the energy of that card. For instance, if you pulled the Three of Cups, what action can you take to celebrate with friends or community? If you pulled the Sun, what step can you take to bring more joy into your life? The goal is to move beyond passive observation and into active co-creation. Remember that you are a powerful creator, and your deck is a tool to help you harness that power. It helps you see the potential, and the magician within you helps you bring that potential to life. So, as you continue to work with your cards, ask yourself, how can I use the wisdom from my deck to actively shape and manifest the life I want to create? After you've moved through the receiving and manifesting energies of the High Priestess and the Magician, you'll find that your deck becomes a powerful tool for a different kind of work, shadow work. The deck you chose, with its unique art and symbolism, can help you illuminate both the brightest and the darkest corners of your own soul. This isn't about finding something bad within you. It's about bringing awareness to the parts of yourself that have been hidden or suppressed, so that you can integrate them and become whole. The sun and shadow work are two sides of the same coin. The more you bring to light, the more you can truly shine. The main spiritual insight here is that your spiritual growth requires you to embrace both the light and the dark. A deck that feels a bit challenging, like the one we talked about earlier, might be the perfect tool for this kind of deep introspection. You'll find that a card like the Devil is not a sign of external evil, but a powerful reflection of the limiting beliefs and emotional bonds that keep you stuck. A card like the Nine of Swords isn't just about anxiety. It's about helping you see the source of your fears so you can release them. Your deck acts as a gentle, non-judgmental guide, showing you the shadows so you can stop running from them and finally heal. Here's a practical application for you. When you're ready to do this work, find a quiet time and space. Shuffle your deck and ask a simple, open-ended question like, what is a part of my shadow that is ready to be seen and healed? Or, what is a limiting belief that is holding me back? Pull a single card and sit with it. Don't immediately look up the meaning. Just look at the image and let it speak to you. What is the emotion that the card evokes? What does the figure in the card seem to be doing or feeling? The answers you get might not be comfortable, but they will be honest. This is the first step toward true liberation. Remember that true spiritual strength is not about avoiding the darkness, but about having the courage to walk into it with compassion. Your deck is a lantern on that path. So as you continue to work with your cards, ask yourself, what part of my own shadow is ready to be illuminated by the light of my deck? As you continue to build this powerful relationship with your deck, you'll begin to notice that it, like all things, has a life cycle. It has a beginning, a vibrant middle, and eventually a time when its energy might begin to shift. Your deck's life cycle is a beautiful reflection of your own spiritual evolution. The deck you chose today might be exactly what you need for this stage of your journey, but as you grow, you might find that your connection with it changes. It's a natural process, and it's a sign of your own growth. This isn't a bad thing, it's a sign that you are moving forward. The main spiritual insight here is that nothing in the universe is static, and our spiritual tools are no exception. A deck might feel incredibly vibrant and insightful for the first few months or years, giving you clear, profound readings. But over time, you might notice that the messages start to feel a bit repetitive, or that you are no longer as excited to pick up the deck. This is not a failure on your part, or a sign that the deck is bad. It is simply a sign that its energy has served its purpose for this phase of your life. It has taught you what it needed to teach you, and now you are ready for a new teacher, a new energy, or a new path. Here's a practical application for you. If you feel like your relationship with your deck is changing, don't just put it away and forget about it. Acknowledge the shift with a sense of gratitude. Sit with your deck and thank it for the lessons it has taught you. You can do a final ritual reading with it, asking a question like, what is the most important lesson you have taught me? Or what new energy am I ready to embrace? Then, you can choose to respectfully retire it by wrapping it in a special cloth and storing it away, or you can pass it on to a friend who is just beginning their journey. This is a powerful act of honoring the energy and the connection you've shared. Remember that every phase of your journey is a gift, and the life cycle of your deck is a beautiful metaphor for that. So, as you continue to work with your cards, ask yourself, how can I honor the natural cycles of growth and change both in my spiritual practice and in my life? Continuing on the theme of a deck's life cycle, let's talk about a very special and meaningful ritual: passing the torch. The idea of a deck having a legacy of being passed down or retired is a profound and beautiful part of a spiritual practice. This isn't just about giving away a deck you no longer use. It's about acknowledging that the deck's energy and wisdom can be shared just as wisdom itself is passed from teacher to student. It's an act of spiritual generosity and a recognition that your journey is part of a larger interconnected web of seekers. The main spiritual insight here is that a sacred tool is never truly owned. You are simply a steward of its energy for a period of time. When you feel that a deck has served its purpose for you, you can choose to pass it on to someone who is just beginning their journey. This can be a friend, a family member, or a fellow seeker. When you do this, you are not just giving them a deck. You are giving them the energy, the wisdom, and the lessons that you have infused into it. It's a beautiful way to bless someone's path and to create a positive ripple effect. Here's a practical application for you. If you feel that a deck has come to the end of its time with you, find a person who you feel would truly benefit from its energy. Before you give it to them, hold the deck in your hands and infuse it with a final blessing. Thank it for the wisdom it has shared with you and wish it well on its new journey. Tell the person you are giving it to that you have worked with this deck and you are passing it on with love and intention. You are not just giving them a gift, you are passing a sacred torch from one seeker to another. If you don't have a person in mind, you can also respectfully retire the deck. Find a special box or space for it and place it there as a cherished memento of a significant chapter in your life. This is a way of honoring its legacy without the need for it to continue working for you. Remember that a deck's journey is often longer than our own. It can hold a history of many readings, many insights, and many profound moments. So as you continue to work with your cards, ask yourself, what is the legacy I want to leave behind with this sacred tool, and how can I honor it as a teacher on my path? We've journeyed together from the very first intuitive pull to the idea of a deck's legacy. As we reach the end of our conversation today, I want to leave you with a final thought, a summary of everything we've discussed. The choice of a tarot deck is not a consumer decision. It is a profound act of self-discovery and trust. It's an act of faith, a moment where you choose to listen to your inner wisdom over the clamor of the outside world. The deck you choose is not just a tool for getting answers. It is a teacher, a mirror, and a partner on your spiritual path. The main spiritual insight here is that your intuition is the most powerful tool you will ever possess. The deck is simply a way to help you hear that inner voice more clearly. The entire process, from the intuitive pull to the feel of the cardstock, to the deck interview spreads designed to help you build confidence in yourself. You have the wisdom you are seeking already within you. The cards are just the language that your soul uses to speak to your conscious mind. Trust in the messages you receive, even if they don't make sense at first. The more you trust, the clearer the messages will become. Here's a final practical application for you. Take your deck and hold it in your hands. Feel its weight, its texture, and its energy. Now, close your eyes and ask a simple open-ended question like, what is the most important message for me today? Pull a single card. Don't look at the guidebook yet. Look at the card and just be with it. Let the images and the feelings speak to you. Write down your first impressions. Then, you can look at the guidebook, but you will always have that initial intuitive hit recorded. This is the cornerstone of building a strong, trusting relationship with your cards and with yourself. This act of recording your own intuition is a powerful way to see your spiritual growth in real time. Remember that your journey with tarot is a lifelong adventure. There is no finish line, only more to discover, more to learn, and more to trust. May your path be clear, and may your deck be a constant source of comfort and wisdom. That's all for today. Trust your inner wisdom, and I'll see you in the next reading.